Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Make a Figure Cat. Another Christmas in July project. There's a surprise, it's July. We are almost at the end though. I grabbed a painty background and decided to play with the wreath builder and do something a bit different, a bit more mixed media-y in terms of obviously the painty background, but also some of these Paperartsy stamps. So the Paperartsy stamps, I decided to go with just black ink. I ummed and ahed about whether I'd just go for the four, but no, I decided to do the full wreath, even though they overlap quite a lot. And this kind of creates a weird spiky, snowflakey type thing. Obviously, when you're speeding it up, it goes quite quickly. But to be honest, this was quite a quick card, probably about 20 minutes. Now, you can see I'm drying it because that Versamark, Versafine sits on the surface. And what I decided was I wanted to emboss. So I thought if I dried it first, then I used my embossing buddy, hopefully the ink will all be completely dry and I'd get nice clean images. So I've chosen a separate snowflake and I am just stamping this 4 times in the middle, and I'm going to use white embossing powder on this, but it's not a very clean impression. It doesn't look great, and I think, right, well, okay, well, I'll go back in, and so I just go back in and stamp the other 4 to make the whole 8 into a circle kind of thing. But again, it's a bit messy. It's not particularly precise. There is some embossing powder sticks in a few other places, so I'm not 100% happy with this. I am just wiping it up there with a sort of slightly dry baby wipe. It is a bit wet actually, it wasn't that dry. And then I decided to ink the panel, the edge of the panel. And again, I do it quite messily. Don't know what's going on, just all became a bit messy. But then I suppose when it's got the painted background, it doesn't really matter. So I decided to double mat this with a layer of white first and then the layer of black. I just thought that looked neater. So here I am. I'm just doing a fairly small mat of both of them, but I just thought it really framed it well and turned it into a proper panel. And whilst I'm doing this, I am having a little think in my brain, what on earth am I going to do to fix the middle or to finish it off? And I really wasn't sure at first. And then I thought, right, well, let's stamp a sentiment, see if the sentiment works. So I stamped this sentiment that's kind of got a hole in it. I'm not sure that's the right word, but basically it's open in the middle. Open's probably better than whole. So into there, I just used my Stampin' Right marker with the fine tip and coloured it in with a purple colour. Sort of more of a reddy purple. And then cut that out and decided that that also needed a mat of the black. Got that little strip hanging around there, so use that to mat and layer it. I did move it around a little bit, wasn't quite straight, but I got there eventually. And that probably would have been fine, but I wasn't 100% happy. So I turned the camera off for a little while and then found this little snowflake die and decided, right, if I cut 4 of those out, and here you can see I am sticking them underneath the label in order to make sure that it, sorry, my glue got stuck, so I'm ungluing my glue bottle. Yeah, if I stick them underneath the label, that will then create the frame and we get a nice circle that's raised. At this point I decide, right, I want some little purple dots also to just embellish. To be honest, these don't stand out very well at all, but I know they're there and I've quite enjoyed doing it. These are little die cuts and some gems that I keep in a little pot. And to be honest, I think they need kind of clearing out for me to sort them out properly. But yeah, I just added those little purple gems and that finished off my front. So I went and grabbed some cardstock in order to make a card blank, and I did it from this sort of lilac-y colour. I think this is left over from something else and I can't think which it was. Anyway, a card that I did earlier in the month. And yeah, I was just deciding did it need a 3rd mat of white, but I decided it didn't. Now you'll see I always put when it's that black, because it's quite a porous type of cardstock and it's almost a bit fluffy, I always put tape down to keep it flat, but I then put a run of liquid glue. It just sticks it in place much better. Now, inside the card, I decided to use that scrap and just created a white panel, edged the painty strip with black, which you can see I was just using some scrap paper to finish off, to rub it down, because I knew that the black was going to stick, and that was my card done. Oh, I did use Wink of Stella on those little purple dots that you can barely see, just to give them that tiny bit of sparkle. But there you are. There is my finished card. Mixed media, bit of fun. Hope you enjoyed. I remembered to do the inside too. Please do give me a thumbs up if you did. Comment below. Have you enjoyed Christmas in July? Subscribe to see more. And until next time, goodbye.